What's up, baby? Today's show is sponsored by Southern New Hampshire University. Yeah, we talking about proper preparation. We're talking about trying to be better at life. How can we improve, right? Whether we're talking about just as an individual, how do we improve if we're talking about in the job space? I mean, whether we're talking about just all the different ways to be prepared for the next step, for that next task. Southern New Hampshire University and some of these online degree programs that they are offering. Come on, baby. You can't beat this. And they have super competitive low tuition rates that are, like I said, going to prepare you for whatever your next steps might be as it pertains to your professional career. It's not too late. I mean, shoot, what you waiting on? I mean, you're watching me, but what you waiting on? Come on, man. You see the link right there, right? snhu.edu/Arthur Moats. Tap in and go out here and get a chance to prepare yourself for greatness. But now it's time for regularly scheduled programming. Yeah, man. I was trying to figure out which topic to start with because, you know, you show prep and you play it in and I was like, man, all right, I got my D-line topic. I'm ready on them. And then we get the Jay Glazer report. I'm like, oh, this is spicy, huh? Now, Jay done talked about the QB, man. Daggone. Jay said he was texting. Jay said he was texting the big dog. He was texting Coach T. You know, it's only one other dog bigger than him, and that's Mr. Roney. I said, hold on now. I said, man, as much as I want to talk to these D-linemen, boys, as much as I want to talk to these prospects, in media broadcast boot camp, you know, they teach you that in NFL. They say, hey, don't bury the lead now. Don't bury the lead. They say when the story is there and it's ready for you, you're supposed to take it. That's what they say, you're supposed to take it. I'm over here looking, I'm like, hey, Jay, you really talking, Jay? I like when you talk like that, Jay. I like when you talk. Because it was pretty spicy. But y'all let me know your thoughts though on it, man. Jay Glazer, for those that don't know, man, he was at the Super Bowl doing media availability, making his runs like he always does. Shout out to Jay, he's a bigwig. But basically had said that, you know, he was texting with Coach Tomlin, man, and some of the way that he was communicating, you know, or in terms of Jay, the way that Jay was communicating, who he thinks the Steelers are going to go with quarterback-wise, he was pretty much like, yo, Russ, nah, not happening. And he was almost ready to do the same to Justin Fields, but then he kind of like walked it back just a smidget. But he was kind of like, yo, they think definitely Russ out of here. And he was quick on the Fields too. All right. But I was like, oh, hold on now. Now, this is very different information when you're talking about what the homie Mr. Roney said, right? Shout out to the boss man, the big boss. The big boss did say that both of them dudes, he was undecided on. He liked both of them. He could see both of them being priorities of why we want them back. And he didn't think that both would come back, but he wants at least one of those guys to return. So I'm like, when I hear the Jay Glaze, I'm like, ooh, Jay, you talking spicy, Jay. Ooh. I mean, I like it. Because if it is real, then, you know, I just like the fact that we got some conviction with the decision. I just like the fact that, you know, he's actually saying what he means and means what he says, man. But if that's not the case, then it's kind of like, all right, Jay, man, you play with fire, man, dropping that type of heat like that, man, because everybody's, you know, going to have an opinion on it. Everybody's going to react to it when you say, yeah, Russ, that definitely ain't coming back. And then the way you act about Phil was like, yeah, that ain't coming back either. He's like, oh. So that is going to be interesting, though, man. But at the same time, I'm just like, yo, I know Jay Glazer does have a relationship with Coach Tomlin. That is nothing new. I mean, them dudes have been boys. Shoot, even when I was playing, man, Jay Glazer would pop up at training camp. Like, that's not foreign. And we know that those two dudes do talk and communicate, man. And Jay has been, you know, in the know on certain things. So part of me is like, all right, now, Jay, if you saying this, you're getting info from one of them two dudes, right? But at the same time, it's like, I know what the big man said, right? Because you was texting Coach T. Coach T get his check cut by the big dog, Mr. Roney. Mr. Roney said both of these dudes consider it. And that was just, what, 2 weeks ago, if that? So now I'm over here like, all right, what we got? Is it real? Is it not? But that's the part that's exciting to me, man. So we will see. But, dude, that's what Jay said. I'm like, for you to say that on a national platform like that, you got to really feel good about your information. And for you to name drop Coach Tomlin on top of that, that allows dudes like me to be able to react to it, to be able to have that, whoa, okay. So you put a name on it. But you got to let me know your thoughts on that, though, man. Got to let me get your thoughts on that one, because to me, that changes some things, man. If we already got this decision where it's no to Russ and Fields, the way that Jay was communicating, it seemed like it was a no for him as well. Well, now I'm like, all right, are we really about to go draft something in the first? Like, what's the plan here? I know some people have brought up Will Howard. You know, when I talked to Dave on TG about Jalen Milroe, that's a guy I thought we should get in the second. But to him, he feels like that's the first round guy. So I'm over here like, all right, maybe y'all saying we got to go get one in the first. Is that the plan now? Because I'm open to that if that is the case. But I do think that probably is the most risky decision in terms of immediate success and long-term plan than the Justin Fields approach, the Russell Wilson approach, or any of these potential free agent or quarterbacks you might try to trade for approach. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It, knowing Coach T, I'm like, man, Coach T don't be talking like that, though. Like, he be keeping that kind of close within. But it is Jay Glazer. And that's the part. I'm like, Jay, he do know the man. Like, I know y'all know each other. I know y'all boys. Like, I don't know the origin of the relationship, but I'm like, y'all homies, man. We get it. So when certain people say certain things, the antennas do pop up because of that. And that's kind of why I'm at with it right now. Because, yeah, prior to that, I'm like, okay, it sounds like they're still in limbo about which one they want to go with between Russ and Fields. But the new info off of Jay Glazer seems as if, like we said, man, we're going in a way different direction than what the assumption was 2 weeks ago. But you guys let me know your thoughts, though, how y'all would feel if that was the case. If we were going to go in just completely overhaul draft, right? Go draft something. Russ nor Fields are back. What does that look like to you guys? Who would that guy that you would want to have in the first round? I know we've talked Will Howard. Some people like Will. Some people don't like Will. We brought up Jalen Milroe. Some people like Milroe. Some people don't like Milroe. We obviously were talking about Joe Milton. What was that last night? Yeah, TG and me were talking about him last night. Obviously, when you think about Joe Milton, we know that's the big unicorn, 6'5", 246. But at the same time, it's still question marks about can that thing play quarterback all the way. So now when I'm sitting here talking about this day going, putting all your eggs in the draft basket to hit it on a quarterback, I'm just like, I don't know if that's the approach we really want to take right now. Like, I don't know. I just feel like that could backfire a lot worse. You know what I mean? Like with Fields, like, yo, yeah, is there a chance that Fields can completely go belly up? Yes. It could look like Chicago. Yes, absolutely. But I still feel like, yo, that I can still work with a lot more than potentially one of these young college kids, man, that we don't have a clue on in terms of how they're going to translate or their growing pains, right? When they handle their adversity, how do they handle that adversity? All of those things that we'll be trying to figure out. I'm trying to see, like, yo, what would that even look like, you know? Let's see what the homie Malvo does it. He says, sounds like a narrative. Seems like they don't want Russ to cook. When he cooks so much, they had told him to stop. Let Russ cook. Bring him up field or bring him and Fields back, run it back. Nah, shout out to Malvo does it. And I don't know if y'all saw some of those reports as well, but they were also some reports about when Russ had control versus when, you know, there could have been some tension with the coordinator and a little bit of a power struggle on availability to check plays and stuff like that. Those are some of the reports that are also coming out, man. So it's interesting. It's getting real interesting in that room because if that is the case, right? And obviously this is still very speculative, but if that is the case, now we're like, okay, well, would that have looked differently? Could that have looked differently? Those are the questions, man. But until we get some hard facts one way or the other, we all just kind of looking at it and kind of just taking our approach to it. And depending on what we feel about either party in it, it's kind of going to shape which way we want to lean with it, right? If we want to believe that, man, Russ is washed, then we're going to say, man, nah, Russ was doing what Russ was doing. He had full control. This is what it was. It is what it is. If you're a person that's like, yo, man, that didn't look right, then you're going to listen and say, well, you know what? That does make sense that Russ couldn't check that play. That does make sense. They wanted to run it first. Because when I think about that Bengals game, the first one, yeah. It was he was scraping the pot. That's how you cook it. It sound good, look even better. But then, you know, you talk about the last five, and we like, hey, bro. Say, bro. Hey, come real quick, man. Is your name Russ or is your name Russell? Which one am I getting today? All right. I like Russ on the field. I don't want Russell on the field. I want Russ. All right. Let Russ cook, not let Russell cook. You know, it's how I be feeling at times. So could be interesting, man. Could be interesting. But we shall see. We shall see. But those are the things, man, to start it off. I was like, man, all right, okay. This is interesting. Shout out to Jay Glazer, though, man. I said, I don't know if Jay just trying to, set a little fire and then walk up off that thing, or if he really got some info and this is, his version of being Coach Tomlin's voice to the public without having, in terms of Coach Tomlin, without having to publicly come out and say something. Man, speak through your friends. Speak through your guys that have, voices in the media and stuff like that. That could be the approach. But we shall see. We shall see, man. But yeah, I was definitely surprised by that, though, man. I was like, all right, okay. Shout out to the homies, though. Shout out to the homies.